Hey there, today we're going to take a look at Google Forms. Google Forms is a great resource to survey staff and to collect information, and teachers often use it for quizzes. You can get started with Google Forms by going to Google Drive, clicking New, coming down to More Options, and by clicking Google Forms. This will open up a blank form for you to get started. The other way you can get a new blank form is by typing in forms.google.com. This opens all forms that you've created previously and gives you the option to create a new form. So we'll start off at the top here. You can see that our form is untitled. So we're going to want to add a title here. Let's call it survey number 1. And you'll notice that when I titled my form, it also populated that title here at the top of my form. Coming across here, you can see there are questions and responses. We'll talk about responses later. You have your first question or your first survey option here already pre-populated that you can change to be whatever you want it to be. We'll go through that later. Up here at the top, you can customize your theme. So say, for example, your school colors are green, so you want it to kind of go along with your theme. So you can change the theme color, you can change the background color, you can change the font style. When anything is kind of a formal survey, we suggest you keep it basic. They do have this decorative font here. It's a little bit hard to read. So one of the more formal fonts is usually preferred. You also have the option to choose an image header. There are several that are preloaded through Google, but you also have the option to upload one from your computer or bring one in from Google Drive. So I have this banner that I've already created, so I could insert that into my form. And say you have a school logo that you want to put up there to represent your school because you're sending a survey to staff or something fun, you can add that there. Just a fun little way to customize your form. Okay. So that's our customize theme options. Next to that, you'll see this little eyeball here. That's to preview your form. So once we get through our form and we want to see what it looks like to those we're sending it to, we'll preview that and we'll take a look at that later. You have settings here. Under general settings, you have the option to collect email addresses from those who are taking your survey. You can restrict it to those who are only within the Lancaster School District. You can limit the number of responses that your participants are able to submit. You can allow them to edit after they submit, and allow them to see summary and text responses. Okay, so depending on the type of survey or form you're sending out, you're going to want to go through the settings and make sure it matches up for what you're looking for. Next is presentation. You can have a show progress bar. This is often nice for a survey that's long. It lets them know that they've made it some of the way through. We'll also talk about how many questions you should have going through. If there's several, how to split them up so it makes it less daunting for those taking your survey. You can shuffle the question order. This might not be as useful for you. It's useful for teachers who are creating quizzes. And then you can customize your confirmation message after they've submitted the form. So I might say, thank you so much for this information, or thank you for taking time to take this survey. And you can customize whatever you want down here. Or if there's a directive that you need them to do at the end of the survey, that's where you would put that message. And the last is quizzes, and this is more a feature for teachers that are using it within their Google Classrooms. Okay, so that's our settings. And then you would click Save at the bottom. Coming back up here to the top, you have a send button. We will spend some time learning about how to share your form or your survey out, and we'll take a closer look at that later, okay? So you'll notice, again, I have my survey here. I'm actually going to change my font back. I like the basic font. It's easier to read. And I have my survey number 1 as the name of my form, and then you have the option for a form description. This is not required. It's just to give some more information for whoever's taking your form. So I might say something like, please fill out this survey to help us choose a new mascot. Okay, something can be whatever you want there. Okay, here you see that this is automatically collecting Lancaster School District users by email address. So they'll get a note there too, letting them know. If that's not what you need, it's going out beyond Lancaster School District. Again, you can change the settings right here or go back up to the gear wheel. Okay. Then we have the option to put in our first question. But before that, you'll notice this little floating panel here. This top button is our add question button. So if you need to add in a new question, you'll go back here. This button allows you to import questions from a previous form. So if you have a survey or you have a contact form that you've created before, instead of having to start over from the beginning, you could import a form that has all of those pre-populated questions set up. This allows you to add another title or description, and we'll talk about this later. When you have several sections in your form, potentially, you might want to add a new title or give some further direction. This add image option allows you to add an image within your form. You can add a video, and this bottom one is add sections here, and we'll talk about that in a later video. Okay, so those are the basics for getting started. In our next video, we'll talk about how to add questions and the different options for styles of questions that you can add to your form.